Considering how one chance meeting can change your life forever, do you cherish those initial sparks you've felt with others? I met him at a conference. I worked in marketing, and he worked in the tech department for a similar company. We were both attending sessions on the newest software. The first day, I noticed him across the room. He seemed intelligent. He asked good questions. He wore a blue shirt. I found myself hoping he would sit near me during the next session. After the session ended, I walked toward the coffee stand. I saw him standing in line. I moved into the line behind him. He turned around and saw me. He asked if I wanted coffee. I said yes. We talked while we waited. He paid for my drink. I appreciated the gesture. We found a table and continued our conversation. We spoke about our jobs. We talked about the conference. We discussed our hobbies. I learned he liked to hike. I also enjoyed hiking. We planned to hike together sometime. We exchanged numbers before we left the conference center that day. I texted him later that evening. I told him I enjoyed talking with him. He responded quickly. He said he had a good time too. We texted back and forth for a while. We made plans to go hiking the following weekend. I looked forward to it. I felt comfortable with him. I did not usually feel comfortable around new people so quickly. He seemed genuine. I hoped the hike would go well. I wanted to get to know him better. He did. He sat in the seat next to me. He smiled and introduced himself. I told him my name. We listened to the speaker. After the presentation, we discussed the topic. We discovered we had similar opinions. He made me laugh. He was easy to talk to. We decided to get coffee together during the break. We walked to the coffee shop. We talked about our jobs. We talked about our hobbies. I learned he liked to hike. I told him I enjoyed painting. We discovered we both liked old movies. The break ended too quickly. We went back to our separate sessions. I found it hard to concentrate. I thought about our conversation. I wondered if he felt the same way I did. The conference seemed longer than usual. I glanced at my watch repeatedly. I wanted to talk to him again. I wanted to learn more about him. I saw him after the last session ended for the day. He smiled when he saw me. I smiled back. He asked if I wanted to get dinner. I said yes. We found a restaurant near the hotel. We talked more during dinner. I felt even more comfortable around him. He seemed genuinely interested in what I had to say. I realized I was developing feelings for him. I hoped he felt something too. We spent the rest of the conference together. We ate lunch together. We attended sessions together. We talked and laughed. I felt a connection with him. I looked forward to seeing him each day. I felt happy when I was around him. On the last day, I felt sad the conference was ending. I knew I would miss him. I did not want to lose touch. As we were saying goodbye, he asked for my number. I gave it to him. I felt excited. I thought about him constantly after that. I checked my phone often. I wondered if he would actually call or text. I did not want to seem too eager. I busied myself with work. I also made plans with friends. I tried not to think about him too much. I did not want to be disappointed if he did not reach out. I knew that I liked him. I did not know how he felt about me. I was relieved when I received a text from him. It was simple and direct. I appreciated that. I replied quickly. I did not want to wait too long and seem uninterested. We texted back and forth for a while. We talked about our interests. We also talked about our work. I felt more comfortable with him. I looked forward to seeing him again. He texted me the next day. He asked if I wanted to go for a hike. I said yes. We planned a hike for the following weekend. I felt nervous and excited. The day of the hike arrived. I wore comfortable clothes and hiking boots. I drove to the trailhead. He was already there. He waited for me by his car. He smiled when he saw me. I got out of the car and grabbed my backpack. I made sure I had water and snacks. I also checked my phone to ensure it had enough charge. I walked over to where he stood. He seemed ready to go, and I felt ready as well. I thought the hike would be good for both of us. I also wanted to see if we could actually get along outside of work. We confirmed the route before we started. We checked to ensure we both understood the plan. Then, we agreed to stick together. He seemed to know what he was doing. I followed his lead as we began walking on the trail. I hoped the hike would be enjoyable and not too difficult. I also hoped we would have a good time talking. We started hiking. The trail wound through the woods. We talked as we walked. We learned more about each other. He told me about his family. I told him about my dreams. We reached a scenic overlook. We stopped to admire the view. The mountains stretched out before us. The sky was blue. I felt peaceful. We got back in the car. We drove for a while. The drive was quiet. I thought about what he said earlier. I wondered if he liked me. I wondered if I liked him. I realized I did. I felt nervous. I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to ruin the moment. I just wanted to enjoy the scenery. I wanted to enjoy his company. I hoped he felt the same way. I wanted to tell him. I was afraid to. We arrived at our destination. We parked the car. We got out. The air was fresh. I walked beside him. We walked in silence. I looked at him. He looked at me. I smiled. He smiled back. I felt my heart beat faster. I felt my palms sweat. I wanted him to make the first move. I did not want to seem too eager. I did not want to scare him off. I hoped he would kiss me. He turned to me. He said he enjoyed spending time with me. He said he felt a connection with me. I told him I felt the same way. He asked if he could kiss me. I said yes. He turned to me. He said he enjoyed spending time with me. He said he felt a connection with me. I told him I felt the same way. He asked if he could kiss me. I said yes. He kissed me. It was a wonderful kiss. I felt butterflies. I felt happy. I felt like I was falling in love. I did not want the moment to end. I wanted to stay there in that space forever. I knew that was not possible. We eventually stopped kissing. We looked at each other. I smiled. He smiled back. I felt my face get warm. I looked away. I did not want him to see me blush. I was still processing what had just happened. I wanted to kiss him again. I wondered if he wanted to kiss me again. I decided to just enjoy the moment. He suggested we continue our hike. I agreed. I knew we could not stand there all day. We needed to reach our destination before dark. I was glad he suggested it. I did not know what to say. It felt awkward to talk after the kiss. I was nervous. I wondered what he was thinking. I hoped he felt the same way I did. I hoped the kiss meant something to him. I wanted to be with him. We continued hiking. We held hands. We talked and laughed. I felt like I had known him forever. I felt comfortable with him. We continued hiking. We held hands. We talked and laughed. I felt like I had known him forever. I felt comfortable with him. After the hike, we went out to dinner. We ate at a small Italian restaurant. We shared a bottle of wine. We talked about our favorite books. We talked about our travel experiences. The food was good. The wine was also good. The conversation flowed easily. I enjoyed hearing his perspective on things. I found myself laughing a lot. He seemed genuinely interested in what I had to say, too. I did not feel any pressure to be someone I was not. That is rare for me on first dates. Usually, I am very nervous and self-conscious. I felt comfortable with him. I wondered if this was a good sign. I wondered if I was getting my hopes up too high. I did not want the night to end, but eventually, the restaurant began to empty out. We paid the bill. We left the restaurant. We walked down the street. He put his arm around me. It felt natural, not forced. I leaned into him a little. We talked about how much we both liked the restaurant. We talked about how we should come back again sometime. He asked if he could walk me to my car. I said yes. He walked me to my car after dinner. He kissed me again. He said he would call me. I told him I would like that. I drove home feeling happy. He called me the next day. We talked for hours. We made plans to see each other again. We went on dates. We saw movies. We went to concerts. We explored new restaurants. I enjoyed spending time with him. I looked forward to our dates. I liked learning new things about him. I felt comfortable around him. I opened up to him about my life. I told him about my family. I shared my hopes for the future. I admitted my fears. He listened without judgment. He offered advice when I asked. He was a good person. I valued his opinion. Over time, my feelings grew stronger. I thought about him constantly. I missed him when we were apart. I wanted to be around him all the time. I started to see a future with him. I imagined us building a life together. I pictured us traveling the world. I considered us buying a house. I envisioned us having children. These thoughts made me happy. I knew I was falling for him. I fell in love with him. He was kind. He was funny. He was intelligent. He was supportive. He made me feel special. He told me he loved me. I told him I loved him too. We became a couple. We spent all our time together. We were happy. Things progressed quickly. I met his family. He met mine. Everyone got along. We took a trip together. We talked about the future. We talked about getting a house. We talked about having kids. It all felt right. I never felt this way before. I felt comfortable. I felt safe. I felt loved. I never questioned it. We discussed marriage casually. We talked about the type of wedding we wanted. We talked about rings. I showed him pictures of rings I liked. He asked about my dream proposal. I never thought it would actually happen. I thought it was just a conversation. I did not think he was serious. I was wrong. One day, he asked me to marry him. He got down on one knee. He held out a ring. I started crying. I said yes. We planned a wedding. We invited our friends and family. We got married in a beautiful garden. The sun was shining. I wore a white dress. He wore a suit. The ceremony went smoothly. I remember feeling nervous but also excited. Walking down the aisle felt surreal. Seeing him standing there made me smile. I almost tripped, but I caught myself. The officiant spoke. I listened to the words. They talked about love and commitment. I thought about our future together. I squeezed his hand. He squeezed back. It felt right. We said our vows. We exchanged rings. We kissed. We were married. It was the happiest day of my life. We went on a honeymoon. We traveled to Europe. We visited different countries. We saw historical sites. We ate delicious food. The honeymoon was great. We spent a lot of money. I charged expenses to the credit card. I figured we could pay it off later. We had so much fun I did not want it to end. I wish we could travel like that all the time. I started looking at travel blogs. I saw people traveling the world full time. I wondered how they afforded it. I looked into their income streams. Some had online businesses. Others worked remotely. I started thinking about my job. I did not like my boss. I did not like the work. I began searching for remote jobs. I updated my resume. I applied to many positions. I wanted a change. I needed a change. We got back to reality. The credit card bill arrived. It was higher than I expected. We needed to make a budget. We cut back on eating out. We stopped buying unnecessary things. We focused on paying off the debt. We wanted to start saving for a house. We researched different neighborhoods. We looked at houses online. We went to open houses on weekends. We finally found a place we liked. It was in our budget. We put in an offer. The seller accepted it. We were so excited. We came back home. We started our lives together. We bought a house. We got a dog. We built a life we loved. We supported each other through everything. We celebrated each other's successes. We comforted each other during difficult times. We were a team. We continued that pattern for years. I felt content. She seemed content too. We built a life together. We bought a house. We got a dog. We made friends. We traveled when we could. We worked hard. We paid our bills. We had no major problems. I thought we would continue this way forever. I did not think anything would change. Then one day, it did. We both retired from our jobs. We sold our house. We moved to a smaller town. We spent more time together. We rediscovered old hobbies. We found new interests. We slowed down our pace. We enjoyed the simple things. I appreciated the peace. She seemed to as well. Years passed. We grew old together. We still loved each other. We still felt the spark. The spark never faded. We had children. We raised them together. We taught them about love. We taught them about respect. We taught them about kindness. Life went on after that. We focused on our careers. We paid the mortgage. We went on vacations. We celebrated holidays. We supported each other through hard times. We went to family events. We went to friends' weddings. We went to funerals. We lived. Years passed. The children grew older. They went to school. They got jobs. Some moved away. Some stayed close. They started their own lives. The house felt empty. We had more time for ourselves. We traveled more. We took up hobbies. We visited friends. We enjoyed our time together. Our children grew up. They had children of their own. We became grandparents. We loved our grandchildren. We spoiled them. We lived a long and happy life together. We experienced joy. We experienced sadness. We experienced everything life had to offer. We raised children. We watched them grow. We eventually watched them start families of their own. We navigated health scares, job losses, and the everyday struggles that everyone faces. We supported each other through all of it. We always found a way to come out stronger on the other side. We learned a lot about ourselves. We learned a lot about life. We learned a lot about what truly matters. We realized that material things are not important. We realized that experiences and relationships are what give life meaning. We traveled when we could. We spent time with our family and friends. We made sure to tell each other how much we loved each other every single day. We knew that time was precious. We did not want to waste a single moment. We were grateful for each other. We were grateful for our love. We were grateful for our life together. When the time came, we passed away peacefully. We passed away in each other's arms. We left behind a legacy of love. I often think about that first spark, that first moment when I knew he was special, that first meeting at the conference. I knew from that moment that we were meant to be together. The spark was undeniable. It changed my life forever. The spark led to a lifetime of love, happiness, and companionship. I am grateful for that spark. I am grateful for him. I am grateful for our love story.